will talk about OSPF, right? This will be the OSPF day 1. Okay, so we have to start with the high energy. Okay, and this is a particular topic of the CCNA exam blueprint, right? So we have to take care about this. They are asking question about this, and OSPF is one of the most important topic. So I will start from scratch. We will start with the normal OSPF single area configuration. I will talk about the terminology of the OSPF, how OSPF works. So this will be the foundation topic for the OSPF. Maybe we will take like a 2 or 3 days. So let me welcome people. Okay. Varun, good evening. Mark, good evening. There is one person with the angry sign. Why you are angry, buddy? Yeah, enjoy the time. So let me share my screen with you. Brijesh Panchal, hi Brijesh bhai, how are you? Nikhil, how are you? Naveen bhai, Naveen Panda, good evening, good evening. Ninangampa, good evening, good evening. Right, we are like the list of active members become high. That's really very good. So let me start with the mind map. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so this is, wait a minute, let me set my cam also. Okay, so this is topic of the OSPF, right? Neeraj, good evening, good evening. So today we'll talk about OSPF. So as per our system, let me start with the mind map. Okay. Yesterday I talked about the EIGRP, and I said that we will continue EIGRP for 15 minutes for today, right? But I just added this topic, like it was the advantage of EIGRP that I need to explain. Okay. But I just added this particular topic over here. So after the end of this session, like when we complete this OSPF session, the last session I added this OSPF version EIGRP. Okay. So in this session, we will cover this particular topic that of the EIGRP that we left off. Okay. So don't worry about it. We'll cover it. And then I will explain you the comparison of the OSPF and EIGRP. Okay, good evening, Swami Goda. So let me start with the terminology. Rahul, good evening, Rahul, new player, welcome. So first of all, the terminology of the OSPF is, it is a link state routing protocol. Okay, REAP is a distance vector routing protocol. EIGRP is a hybrid, or we can say that it is advanced distance vector routing protocol, and OSPF is a true link state routing protocol. Okay, there are only two link state routing protocol in the planet Earth. The one is OSPF, and the second one is known as ISIS. ISIS is the full form of the IS is intermediate system. Okay, in the terminology of OSI protocol, it is called IS. IS means a router, and ISIS stand for intermediate system to the intermediate system. Okay, this particular protocol is not in our syllabus, so we will not be able to talk about ISIS. But yes, link state routing protocol is in our syllabus, like OSPF is in our syllabus. So we are going to talk about this. But keep this in mind: there is two protocols which is considered as a link state routing protocol. One is one is OSPF, and the second one is considered as a ISIS. Right? It is an event trigger like EIGRP. As you people know that EIGRP is an event trigger, right? It means it will only exchange hello packet. It will only exchange updates when it is required. Okay. Tell me about the REAP. What is the REAP like? How REAP operates? If you are saying that EIGRP is an event trigger, OSPF is an event trigger, what you say about REAP? What you say about REAP? Like, what is the terminology of REAP? Wahidullah Koshan, good evening. I'm getting lots of new players. Like, I'm seeing lots of new players are now commenting. That's really good. If you have any question, you can ask anytime. Yeah. My question is right now, if we are saying that EIGRP having event trigger, OSPF having event trigger, what is the system of REAP? Nitish Sharma saying hope count. It is a different thing. Rohan, Rohan Maghwani, good evening. Good evening. Welcome, Rohan. Nitish Sharma, we cannot say that it is a hope count. Okay. Why I'm asking this type of question? Because see, this type of question they may ask you in the interview, right? So that's why I'm asking this type of question. Yeah. Waiting for your reply. So basically, we can say that in the REAP, it is called periodic broadcast. Okay, so REAP is not waiting for the update. Okay, REAP is not waiting to update to be happen. Okay, the system is I will broadcast you every 30 seconds. If there is a changes in my table or not, I can send it update to every 30 seconds. But in this particular system, in the REAP and in the EIGRP and OSPF, it has an event trigger. It means when there is a changes, it will only update the changes. Now the problem with the event trigger is, like, suppose I'm not having update for 2 or 3 hours. Okay, I'm not getting any update from my neighbor. In this situation, I may be confused that my neighbor is alive or not, right? So in this condition, how can I find it out? So whenever we are talking about event trigger, every event trigger routing protocol like EIGRP is using event trigger, OSPF is also using event trigger. They have the system of hello packet, right? So when we are talking about this EIGRP, I also explained in the EIGRP that EIGRP also sending the hello packet. Same way, OSPF is also using the hello packet. Now the timer is different over here. In the EIGRP, the hello timer was 5 seconds. In the OSPF, the hello timer is 10 seconds. Okay, the EIGRP is multicasting hello every 5 seconds, and the multicast address is 2240.0.10. But here we have two address like 2240.0.5 and 2240.0.6. Okay, now tell me what is the multicast address. What is the multicast address of REAP version 2? My question is, what is the multicast address of REAP version 2? Yeah, keep this in mind. EIGRP is using only one hello packet or one multicast packet address, and it is 2240.0.10. But here we have this OSPF, and OSPF is using two hello packet. Like that, they have two multicast address. One is the 2240.0.5 and 2240.0.6. Now you may have question why it is two. Okay, so I will going to explain you this when we talk about this OSPF router type. There is an area type, then we have to understand that network type also. Okay, so I will explain you this. Nikhil Wag, Mark, you are right. Neeraj, you are right. 2240.0.9 is a multicast address for RIP. Okay, so we have to like the finalize three things. Okay, multicast hello 2240.9, 10, and 5 and 6. Right now, same way, like in the EIGRP, we have this hello packet which is used to maintain the neighbor relationship. Same here in the OSPF, we have this hello packet. It is used to maintain the neighbor relationship. Okay. Now, how can it maintain the neighbor relationship? So the matter is, I will send update to my neighbor every 10 seconds. Okay, I will send update to my neighbor every 10 seconds. But there is a one also time which is known as dead timer. So if my neighbor will not get the update from me within a 40 second, my neighbor will remove me from its neighbor, right? So now this particular hello and dead timer, that packet is basically used to maintain the neighbor relationship, right? So in the EIGRP, it is a 5 second and 15 second, and in the EIGRP we call it hold down time. Okay, in the OSPF we call it a hello timer. It is a 10 second, and the dead timer is a 40 second. Okay, I'm talking about this default, and there is a changes also, but we'll talk about this later. Right now, just remember that there is a 10 second and 40 second. Okay, 10 second is hello. I will send the update to my neighbor every 10 second. I'm also expecting that my neighbor will send me update for every 10 second. If I will not get the update from my neighbor within a 40 second, this is a dead timer. I will remove my neighbor from the neighbor relationship, right? So basically this hello and dead timer combined used to maintain the neighbor relationship. Then now this is the main point that you need to remember. Okay, to become neighbors, two routers must have same hello and date timer. Okay, so the like maybe you are having a question, can you change this hello timer and date timer? You can you change this hello and hold down timer in EIGRP? Yes, you can. Okay, now if you change this, like if you are not comfortable with the default timer and if you want to change it, you can do this. But in the EIGRP, if it is not same, then it is okay. Like neighbor relationship is basically not depend on the hello and hold down timer. Okay, in the EIGRP it can be different, no matter, but in the OSPF it must be same. Okay, so keep this in mind, because they are asking question like two router is not becoming neighbor. Why? What is the problem? Okay, basically there are three problems. The first is they must have hello timer same, or hello and date timer. Second is they must have same area. I will going to explain you area later. And the third one is like they must have same MTU. Yeah, so we'll talk about this later, don't worry. But right now this is the point that you need to remember. Okay, first of all, it is an event trigger. If it is event trigger, it is use hello timers and all these 3 points. Then now metric of OSPF is the cost. Okay, what is the metric of REAP, guys? Sorry, what is the metric of REAP? What is the metric of REAP? Waiting for your reply. Yeah, Neeraj is saying hop count, Nikhil is saying hop count. Easy. Yeah, the metric of REAP is a hop count. And what is the metric of Naveen is saying hop count. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, what is the metric of EIGRP? Okay, what is the metric of EIGRP and which two factors decides this metric? Okay, you have to give me two answer. Okay, don't give me one. You have to give me two answer. Again, I am repeating my question. What is the metric of EIGRP? Okay, and which two factors decides this metric? Okay, this is my question. Okay. Neeraj is saying, okay. Rohan, hope count. Okay, Rohan, you're talking about EIG, REAP, right? Bridges cost of the EIGRP, right? Naveen Panda is saying bandwidth and delay. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So in the EIGRP, basically we are using cost, right? So the best path decided by the cost in the EIGRP, the metric of the EIGRP is the cost, right? Yeah, because it is fixed. Good. Yes. Okay, and in the OSPF we have the same thing, cost, but EIGRP is using two factor. It is a bandwidth and delay. Yeah, we can use 5, but it is only using 2 by default, right? In the OSPF we have only one factor which decides the cost. Okay, and this is known as bandwidth. So the bandwidth will be only one factor which deciding the cost. Okay, and how? It is a 210 power of 8 divided by bandwidth. Okay, so once we will configure lab, and then I will talk about this cost for, we will calculate the cost. Okay, so I'm going to for the fourth point. Now this is really up like changes. Okay, what I talk right now, like all these points is same as the EIGRP. Yeah, there is a little bit difference, but most of them are all are same. Now what is the next different, like what is the difference between EIGRP and OSPF? And here is the difference, like direct update to old router. Okay, and this is the thing that we are learning first time. Okay, EIGRP having the second hand update, like whenever I am having update, I will give it to my neighbor, then my neighbor will pass it to the another neighbor, then my another neighbor will pass it to their neighbor. So this was the system of REAP. Now EIGRP is following the same system. Okay, but here we have this link state routing protocol, And this is the difference, like in the link state and the distance vector. It has a direct update. Okay, so let me open my whiteboard so you can able to understand this. Let's assume that I'm having 4 routers. Yeah, I'm using same lab that we are using it, like our popular lab. Okay, it is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70. Now, in case of REAP, what happened? Like suppose R1, this particular router required like having an update, like it is like a broadcasting every 30 seconds, even though it don't have any update, it is broadcasting at that particular interval, right? So what happens, like it will give the updates to its neighbor. Okay, now this neighbor will give this update to this another neighbor, to its neighbor, right? And this particular neighbor will give the update to this neighbor. So when you check the routing information source, like if you check out over here that, okay, you are having the data, like you are having one network 192.168.10.0. Yeah, this one. Okay, this is 192.168.10.0. Okay, who give you update about this? Okay, this router R3 will say that, okay, R2 gave me update about this. Okay, R3 don't know about who is R1. Yeah, actually R1 is the real source of 192.168.10.0, but R3 don't know about it. R3 knows only to its directly connected network. So it is a second hand update. Okay, so let me write R over here so we can say that it is a REAP, right? If you talk about EIGRP, same thing. Wait a minute. Same thing gonna happen with the REAP, with the EIGRP. Okay, EIGRP also giving the second end update or updates to its neighbor only. But in the system of OSPF, it is like a new process, and the system is like R1 will give the update to R2, R1 will give update to R3, and R1 will give update to R4. Okay, so this is what the difference between REAP, EIGRP and OSPF. Yeah, so today we will put REAP and EIGRP into the same bucket, and the OSPF will be in the different bucket, right? So REAP and EIGRP basically works with the second hand update, and it has like a update. Whenever it has update, it will give it update to its neighbor. But when we talk about this OSPF, okay, it can give the update directly. Okay, now if you have any question, you can ask me now. Yeah, particularly I'm talking about what I said right now. Okay, if you have any question about this, if you have any question about direct update and second hand update, you can ask right now. Okay, so I'm giving you like few minutes, like, so you can give me like ask me question. And if you don't have any question, I'm having one question, so you have to answer this question, right? Okay, and if you don't have any question, you can type no. Yeah, if you don't have any question, you can type no, so I can understand. Okay, Naveen, yes, Naveen, you are right. Like it was 3 minutes. Rohan saying no. Okay, Rohan don't have any question. Okay. So OSPF is better than EIGRP and REAP based on the update? No, Naveen. OSPF is roast actually. Yeah. So actually, when we talk about this, like based on your question, EIGRP and REAP is better. Okay, EIGRP and REAP is better. Means all can get update in one shot. Yes. 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 Bridges Panchal is saying no. Naveen Panda, this is right. All can get update in one shot. We can say this. Yes, it is right. And this is problem also. Yeah, this is problem also. We see, understand this. All the routers is giving me update in one shot. So what gonna happen? Okay. Ningappa, yeah, no, that's good. You don't have any question. This is really good. Okay. So now this is my time to ask you question. Okay. So basically I am always asking you questions, so no worries. So let me ask you one question. How can I say that when R1 is giving update to R3, it is giving direct update? Yeah. What I am saying, like what I said, in the OSPF, we have direct update. Okay. So when R1 is sending update to R1 having update, okay, it can send it to the R2, R3, and R4, right? So here my question is, how can R1 send update directly to the R3? Because we have this R2 is in between. Yeah, it has to pass R2. This is like we are using this wire technology. Okay, there is no any wireless or any air connection between R1 and R3. So when R1 is sending update to R3, it must pass through the R2. Yeah, and if R1 is sending update to R4, it has to pass through the R2 and R3. Yeah. So question will be like this: how can you are saying that R1 can give update to R4? Now how it is possible? Because it has to pass through R2 if it has an update for R3, and it has to pass from R2 and R3 as well if it has update for R4, right? Right or wrong? Tell me. Right or wrong? Yeah. So do you have answer? Like you all are agree with me that, okay, you don't have any question. Okay. And now I am asking you this question and you have to give me answer of this question. Yeah. There is mechanism called area, okay, using which it is possible. I don't explain you anything about area, right? So maybe it will be later. To make R1 as a server means common router to send update to all. Okay, Naveen, now tell me in this situation, like R1, R2, R3, and R4, R1 becomes server, common router. Yeah, you can do this. You can do this. Like it is in like this situation. Suppose if I'm having situation like this, okay, it is possible. Yeah. R1, R2, R3. This is possible that the R1 will be server and everything. I will explain you this. But I am talking about the current case. Yeah. Nitish Sharma is saying ABR. I don't know what is ABR is right now. So there is no matter of ABR. Yeah. Even though I don't know about area, because full form of the ABR is area about the router, and I don't know about A also, like what is area, that I don't know. Yeah. So R1 is like a common server because it has an algorithm to manage its process. Yeah, but problem is, Brijesh, by how A can send the update to R3, it has to pass through R2. And when it is passing through R2, how can you say that this is a second hand? Now, this is a direct update. How can you say this? Okay, I don't think I'm getting a real answer. Okay, so no worries. It is like our first day. So this is good. No problem. Okay, now I'm going to explain you. You tried well. You all tried well. But let me explain this. Okay, and when I will explain you and you are agree with me, you have to comment, wow. Okay, this is what I required today. So keep this in mind when R1 having update. So basically in the OSPF, the update is known as LSA. Okay, LSA stands for link state advertisement. Okay, so when actually R1 having update, it is called LSA. Okay, and LSA is like, it is not passing through air. There is no system like server or anything. Yeah, it is like a normal, very normal system. it will pass the update through R2 and R3. Yeah, that's sure. There is no air, like data cannot pass through air. So when R1 having update for R4, it can pass through R2 and it can pass through R3. That is sure. Yeah, that is sure. But the system will be like this. See, when R1 will give the update, okay, the source IP, okay, the source IP, we'll talk about this source IP, would be like 20.1 IP address of router, and the destination IP would be IP address of 60.2. I can say like this. Okay, so what happened for understanding? Okay, what happened when R1 will send the update, R2 is saying that, okay, this is not for me. Yeah, I has to pass it to the 60.2. So without any processing, like without any OSPF process or anything, R2 will pass it as a data. Yeah, it will pass it as a data. It will not process this update because this update is for 60.2. So R2 is saying that, okay, this is not my data. I can't do anything. I have to pass this like it is a data, like normal data. So it will pass this. R3 will do same thing and R4 will get this update. Okay. But in the case of REAP and EIGRP, what's going to happen when R was sending update? Okay, R2 will get it and okay, he's saying, okay, my neighbor is sending me EIGRP hello packet. I have to process it. So it will process this. Now R2 is realizing that, okay, I process this update. Now there is a changes in my table. So I have to give this update to my neighbor. So after getting the update from R2, R1, let me start with the new. When R2 will get the update from R1, okay, R2 will process this. It will add this update to its topology. It will change the modification or whatever it will be in the topology table of R2. Then it will affect the routing table of R2. And then R2 will produce the new packet. And then it will, like it is called update packet, it will give it to the R3. And when R3 will receive this packet, the source IP address would be the address of R2 because R1 packet is over at the R2. R1's packet is over at R2. Now R2 generated the new packet and it is forwarding to R3, right? Okay, and same thing, R3 will update this process this update. It will add the, like in the topology table, routing table, or all thing will be happen. And then R3 will generate the new packet and it will give update to R4. Right? So here, actually, when REAP is sending the packet, it is always passing through R2 and R3. EIGRP is sending packet, passing through R2 and R3. OSPF is sending the packet, it is passing to R2 and R3 as well. But the main difference is R1 will process, like R1 is sending the update. In the case of REAP, R2 will consume this packet and then it will generate the new packet and it will send it to the R3. In the EIGRP, same thing going to happen. R1 send the update to R2. R2 will consume this packet. Yeah, then it will generate the new update and then it will send it to the R3. R3 again will consume this packet. Again, it will process this packet and then it will generate new and it will send it to the R4. But in the case of OSPF, R1 will send the packet with, hey, R2, this is not for you. Send it to the R4. Okay, so R2 will not do anything, like it will forward this packet. R3 will also forward this packet. Okay, same going to happen for R3. Okay, so now in the case of REAP, R1 will forward this update and will add the IP address of R4 directly. Okay, so that's why it is called direct update. Is it okay? Now if you have any question, then tell me. Okay, and if you want to find it out, like, is it right, like what I am saying is right, you can verify this. How? If you go to the R1's routing table, we will configure OSPF, and then if you go to the routing table of R1, you will find out that in the routing information source, we will get the IP address of R4, R3, and R2. It is not IP address, it is called router ID. I am going to talk about this later, but let me assume this, like for current time, what I explained it is good. Yeah. Rahul is saying, wow. Bridges is saying clear. Thank you, Rahul. Sir, if any router fails, then the packet will be discarded or what? Yeah, this is obvious. Okay, if the router fails, okay, what is the use of packet? Yeah, suppose if R3 is now, like if R3 is down, right? So if a router fails, yeah, so if R3 fails, right, if R3 fails, yeah, it will discard this. And if R3 is fails, like if R3 is down, okay, what is the use that of R4? Like it will be isolated. It will be isolated, and there is no use to send the update because we cannot able to send the data. So if we are not able to send the data, what is the use of sending the update, right? So Varun saying wow, thank you. Mark is saying wow, thank you. Okay. Now the problem with this particular system, like it is really good, router is getting updated directly, but the problem with this system is, what is the boundary? Yeah, what is the boundary? Like suppose if I'm saying that, okay, let me draw this. Yeah, I'm drawing routers. Okay, I'm drawing routers. Now all routers are connected. Okay, all routers are connected. Now suppose this is a R1 having update, it is LSA. So what going to happen? Like, okay, what going to happen? Like R1 will send the update to this, 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 this. Yeah, whatever I am doing, it is for course. Okay, so you can better understand the system. I'm not passing the time. The update will be like this. Because R1 having direct update. Now the problem is like, what is the boundary for that? Yeah, if you have large number of router, yes, Nitish, yeah, so what will be the boundary of that? Like if it is giving a direct update, okay, in example of like REAP, what happened in the REAP? Like this is R1, it will give update to this, okay, and it has a limit. It has a limit like maximum 15 hop. Yeah, 16 is unreachable in the REAP. In the EIGRP, we have maximum hop count, like it is working with the second and hop, that the EIGRP, the maximum hop count is 255 and dipole hop count is like 100. Okay, but here we don't have this hop count. Okay, like how can you say that there is a hop? Because router is giving update directly. So there is every router is like a one hop, right? It is like a directly connected. For OSPF, it doesn't matter. Like for OSPF, X is same as well as Y is same. Okay, so because of this particular system, we can say that, okay, have unlimited hop count. Yeah, because actually it is not based on the hop count. For EIG, for OSPF, every router is like a hop count, like it is a one hop. Okay. Second thing is generate lots of LSA. Oh, I already talked to you about this. Like I already told you that in the OSPF, the updates is known as LSA, right? Now, please comment this in the OSPF, like LSA equal to update. Comment this, LSA equal to update. Okay. Now, because of this direct update, the first thing is it will generate lots of traffic. Like when it has an update, it has to send it to all the routers. Yeah, all the routers. Second thing is, now just understand that at that particular time, like when R1 is sending update to all these routers, okay, this particular router like uh, K and this particular router S having these updates. Okay, so what happened now? At same time, K will update all these routers. Yeah, K will update all these routers. Okay, and this ACE will also update all these routers. So at that particular time, look, like it will generate lots of traffic. Okay, So this is the problem with the OSPF. And there is one another problem that I'm going to explain you. Okay, so according to normal circumstances, when we talk about comparison of EIGRP and OSPF, okay, direct update is not good. Yeah, direct update is not good. Actually, second-hand update is good, because with the second-hand update, I do not need to worry about all other routers. Yeah, I need to worry about my neighbors. For example, suppose I am having 50 routers. And like so on, I am having this 50 routers. Yeah. Now, for me, it doesn't matter how many routers are there in the topology. I have to concern about this particular R2, because R2 is my neighbor. Okay, I'm talking about in REAP, I'm talking about in EIGRP also. They don't concern about other routers, they only concern about neighbors. But in the case of OSPF, R1 has to concern with all these routers. Whenever it has update, it has to process update to all the neighbor. When this neighbor having the update, all the neighbor will give the update to this particular routers, like R1 will get the update. So what's going to happen, like suppose if I'm having a 50 routers, okay, and each router having the update, all will give me the update. Okay, and whenever my neighbor will give me update, I have to process this update, and this is like another problem. Yeah, and it will complex the matter. So basically, when we talk about EIGRP, it is a second-hand update, and it is really good, and it is a better than this direct update. Okay, now maybe you have a question, like I understand that you explain all this. Okay, in the EIGRP we have second-hand update, and because of second-hand update it is really good. But now in the OSPF, how to get solution of this? Like if I'm having 100 router, I'm getting update from my each and every routers. I'm getting update from each and every routers, and I has to process all this update. Okay, is there any solution? We have solution for this. Yeah, we have. But there is a problem, and because of this problem, we have this solution, right? No, Rahul, I'm talking about this point-to-point line. Rahul bhai, welcome, welcome. I'm not talking about this DR and BDR right now. I'm just talking about this. Yeah, so my main point will be on the area. Okay, so this is what the direct update is, right? So let me go to the mind map, and here is like generate lots of LSA and how to solve this problem. So to solve this problem, we have to configure areas. Yeah, we have to configure areas. In the OSPF, there is a concept of areas. And why there is a concept of areas? Because OSPF having a problem of direct update, and we have to break the chain of the direct update. And how can we break this? We can break this chain using the concept of area. Voice break in between. What about now? Are you getting voice properly? Is there any alternative for OSPF to handle large network? Yes, we have. Yeah. See, OSPF is a really scalable protocol, right? And if you have, like in many companies, they are using it. So we can. So the alternative is we will use the OSPF with the solution. We will use the OSPF with the solution, and the solution is like a area, right? So Naveen is not getting voice properly. Please guys, if you are getting my voice properly, please say yes, getting voice properly. Otherwise I have to change. Like voice is the really important when you are getting training, right? So if you're not getting voice, tell me, I will immediately solve this problem. Like I don't know what is the problem right now, but if you are getting okay, Rohan is saying all good, voice is okay, Nitish Sharma is saying okay. So Naveen bhai, maybe there is a problem in your system in the mid voice breakout. Yeah, but right now it is okay, right? Right now it is okay. 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 So now I'm going to continue. Okay. So because to solve this problem, we have to divide network into the area. Yeah, because EIGR, OSPF having direct update, having unlimited hop count. Okay, lots of LSA generates this type of traffic, and to solve this, we have to divide our network into the area. So now we have to consider 4 topic, like 4 point about the areas, right? The first is the area is a boundary of LSA. In the term of OSPF, the update is known as LSA and area is a boundary of LSA. Okay, so the top, like the matter is, your update cannot cross boundary of your area. Okay, and maybe you have question like how to create area. I will going to explain you. Now the second point is must assign area to each interface. So here we have a different system. Like when we are using EIGRP, we are not assigning any areas or anything. In the EIGRP, we have so-called autonomous system, right? But here we have a different system and it is called area. And when we are configuring OSPF, we have to assign area to each and every interface. Okay. And the third point is to become neighbor, interface of routers must be in the same area. Okay, just complete this 4 point and then I will going to draw this so you can able to understand. Okay, and the 4 point that you need to understand is when router gets LSA from other routers in the same area, all router in the same area has to run SPF algorithm. Okay, now what is this SPF algorithm? In the EIGRP, when they get any update, it has to process this update, and the algorithm of the EIGRP is known as what we call. What is the name of the algorithm of EIGRP, guys? What is the name of EIGRP algorithm? Today, actually, I'm not getting any fast comment. Maybe there is a problem. Rahul, why you are talking about OSPF algorithm? Yeah. Bridges, okay. Rahul Grover. EIGRP's algorithm is this. Yeah, it is a Distra SPF algorithm of OSPF, right? And the dual algorithm is for EIGRP. Yeah. Okay. So OSPF's algorithm is called a shortest path first algorithm. Okay, and it is developed by a person called Distra. Okay, maybe he's from France. Okay, that's why the name is really difficult. Okay, so the algorithm of EIGRP it is called dual, and the algorithm of OSPF is called SPF. Right. So let me explain you this particular point. Okay, so let me draw one lab. Okay, like suppose I am having lab like this. It is 4 router. Okay, and all these routers are connected, and like the company is like big enough, so they have like system like this. Okay, so under this all 4 we will call it like a backbone. Okay, that has the like router like this. Okay, so all these are actually routers. Okay, all these are actually routers. Right now all the routers are in the single area. So what I'm doing right now, I'm going to explain you the single area OSPF and the problem that the difficulties that we have to face when we are configuring single area OSPF, right? So actually when you are configuring OSPF, you have to assign each and every interface into the areas. So right now the system is like I'm having all these particular interfaces in the same area. So basically I'm saying that I'm having single area OSPF. Okay, so all the interfaces are in area 0 right now. So this is a single area OSPF. Right now, this router, let me give like name X having update. Okay, X having update. Now what's gonna happen? X having update. What will happen? Like when S will send the update, which router will get this update? All or maybe let me like all router will get the update, or R1 or R2 or R3 or R4. Like you can say that router connected with R1 will get update, R2 will get update, R3 will get update, R4 will get update, or maybe all router will get update. Yeah, Neeraj is saying all. Okay. What are other people saying? Rohan is saying R1. Prakash Kumar is saying all. Nitya Sharma is saying all. Right. Because the boundary of LSA is area. And right now I'm having everything in area 0. So what happened, like whenever there is an update on X, like LSA, it will send it to all the routers. Yeah. Okay. First thing, all. Yes, Rahul bhai. Okay. LSA goes to all routers, right? Now, what will happen when all this router will get this LSA? What will happen when all this router will get this LSA? Yeah. What will happen when all router will get this LSA? When your router, when your router will get LSA, it has to run SPF algorithm. Yes, this is a simple system of LSA. So when X will send update to all these routers, all routers, all routers has to uh, uh, run SPF algorithm. Yeah, because then you will get the update. Okay, and all router has to get the yes algorithm, and they will send the acknowledge also. Yeah, so we'll talk about acknowledgement when we talk about the packet type, right? So all router immediately generate, like whenever the router will get this update, all router will immediately run this SPF algorithm. Okay, and then it will find out either a new network or maybe there is a changes in network, and then this network like changes will be affect a routing table, right? So this is what the problem with. Okay, and I don't want to do this. Like I don't have any problem if the I is getting the update later, but I do not need to run this SPF algorithm. Yeah, I want to break it out. So how can I break it out? The other solution is I can design my network like this. Wait a minute. Okay, the first, like this particular routers, I can assign, I can create the configuration like this. Okay, and then I will assign. You may have question that can I configure routers interface into the different areas? You can. Okay, so I'm doing like this. Yeah, So now we have this particular system. Okay, and here I'm having this router, like this router is connected with multiple area, and particularly in this R1, it has a like one connectivity area of 0 and one is of area 1. Okay, and there is a area 0 having a spatial privilege. So area 0 in the OSPF, area 0 is known as backbone. Okay, when area 0 is considered as a backbone. Now here, this particular router is connected with a multiple area, and one of the interface is connected with area 0. So this router is called ABR. Yeah? It is called area border router, or in many cases it is called area boundary router, right? So this is like ABR over here. This is ABR, and this is ABR also. Now I'm asking you question again. Okay, now suppose I'm having X over here and X having the update. Okay, so X will send the update. Now which router will get this update? Which routers will get this update? This is my question to you. Okay, now we have this area, and now if X having update, which routers will get this update? Again, you can say all if you are comfortable, like if you are feeling like that, and if you can say only routers in area 1. Rahul Bhai saying only routers in area 1. Okay, Mohit Agarwal saying area 1. Okay, Nikhil Wagh is saying area 1. Okay, okay. So now we have this boundary of LSA. So when X will get this update, in this case, update will go to all routers in area 1. Yeah, Rahul Patane, I think you are new. Welcome. Yeah, got it. Okay, you all are giving the same answer. Okay, like all routers connected, like in the area 1 will get this update, right? So when X having update, the update will go through this particular all routers, like all these routers in area 1. Okay, good. So now I'm asking you another question. Like this router having one network like 192.168.10.0. Okay, 192.168.10.0. Okay, this is a directly connected network with X. Okay, now X having any update, it has a boundary. Its LSA cannot pass this boundary. So my question is, if there is, I'm having Y or Z, like I'm having Y router in this particular R2 area and Z over here. Okay, so it will be visible there, like 192.168.10.0 will be visible over here or not? Yes or not? Like, see my question, I'm repeating the question again. See, all you said that when X having LSA, right? Now it can only send this LSA to the same area, and this area is a boundary. So the LSA cannot cross the boundary of this area. Now, if it cannot cross the boundary of this particular area, how Y will get this LSA? Like how Y will get this network 10.0 and Z will get this network 0? So my question is like simple. Okay, it will be 10, like 192.168.10.0 will be available into the routing table of Y or Z. Okay, so you should answer like yes or no, because now we have boundary. Like in the previous case, it was right because it was everything in area 0. So when X is sending the update, okay, and all the routers in the same area are getting this update, and if X having a network 10.0, it obviously they're in the routing table of Y and Z. Like it is okay, very comfortable. Rahul, why you are opening the suspense? Yeah, okay, let me wait for another reply. Yeah, Nitish Sharma is saying not visible. Nitish Sharma is okay. Neeraj is saying no. Prakash Kumar saying not. Varun Sondhya is saying no. Nikhil is saying no. Okay. Rahul Patane limited up to R1. Yeah. Okay. Good. Ningappa saying no. No, it will not available. Navin Panda is saying no. Good. Okay, good. So now I'm having a question. If 10.0 will be not visible in Y and Z. Let me assume that I'm like, you all people are right? Okay, I'm accepting your comment, right? Like, it will be not visible. Okay, so now suppose I am having one computer over here connected with Y, and this computer having a data for 10.0. Okay, now this computer having a data for 10.0. Okay, and now it is sending that, but there is a no 10.0 in the routing table of Y, and because there is no 10.0 in the routing table of Y, how can Y send the data to 10.0? And if it is not sending the data, like if it is not able to send the data, what is the use of this particular process? Yeah, the root must be there in the routing table, and if I'm not getting root, I will not do this all OSPF and OSPF. I will prefer to use EIGRP, or even though I will prefer to use RIP. Yeah, because the all at the end of the system, it is required that 10 must be there in the routing table of Y. And if you are saying that if you are going to create areas, yeah, and 10 will be not visible into the routing table, so what is the meaning of doing all this? Right? You guys understand or not? Now I'm creating confusion for you. Yeah, it will send to ABR. Okay, okay, Mark, done. And this will be the confusion, right? This will be the confusion, like Mark is near about, but my answer is 10 will be visible into the routing table of Y, Z, or every router. That's for sure. First thing. Second thing is, when R1 will send the update, all routers in the same, like when X will send the update, all routers in the same area will get the update. Okay, so update from X will not cross this boundary for sure. Okay, so now there is a question for you. Now there is a question for you guys. How X will get 10.0 from X? Sorry, how Y and Z will get the update of X? Like how Y and Z will get this 10.0 into its table? Okay, this will be your question. This will be your question. Okay, and you have to solve this question tomorrow. Sorry, on Tuesday, I will ask you this. I will reveal all this. Yeah, I will reveal all this, like how the process works. No problem. But Tuesday, I will ask you first, and then I will explain you all this process. Okay, so 10 should be, no, I can say that 10 must be there in the routing of table of 10 of the Y and Z. It is required, because if there is no 10 in the routing table of Y and Z, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so Rahul Bhai is giving a little hint like LSA3 and all this. Okay, so Google it, find it out, YouTube videos. Okay, whatever you want to do, I want answer on Tuesday. Okay, and there is one another question in a queue. Okay, about the OS EIGRP version 3. Okay, I know this. I will never forget about this also. Okay, so there will be the two questions that I will ask you on Tuesday, right? And if you don't know about the previous question, just watch the video of yesterday. Okay, you have to give answer of this. Okay, router should be imported by the ABR. Yeah, Prakash bhai, you can do this, but you have to give me answer on Tuesday. Okay, and I want proper answer. Yeah, I want proper answer. No guessing, proper answer. Okay, so thank you very much for today. Tomorrow will be like a happy weekend. Enjoy Saturday, Sunday. Okay, and good luck. See you on Tuesday, right? It will be day, I have to check. It will be day 27. So this is day 27 and it will be day 28, right? So before day 30, we have to finish this routing protocols, and then we have to start the new technologies. Okay, so this is done. See you. Good night. Good night, Rahul bhai. Thanks, Naveen. Not tomorrow. Sorry, we have 3 days only a week. Rohan, thanks. Yeah, right now I'm going to answer all thanks. Okay, so thank you very much.